Unbelievable. Pat Murphy saw it. Unbelievable. And you thought I was on TV. Unbelievable. Good afternoon. This is Tony Dattino, and I am the founder and host of the USA Memory Championship. In September, we did our 24th event, and we're getting lots of people looking at the broadcast on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, USA Memory Championship, and you can get to see it. And, of course, I have my Train Your Brain shirt on today, which is, okay, what are some of the things that we can do to take control over our memories regardless of age? And what are some of the mnemonics or skills, the things that we can learn about memories that help us to remember names and faces, or things that we're going to do, or where we put our keys, or where we put our glasses, or where we need to go find some paperwork that we needed for a meeting or a report we had. So to that degree, it's important for us to understand the differences between when are we losing some of the functions of our mental capacities, which then causes us to worry about our brain, versus what are we doing in terms of cognitive impairment or cognitive improvement. So I'm reading an article out of the current issue of Mind, Mood, and Memory. It is the issue from July, and it's been on my pile to do since before the Memory Championship, and I think it's important that I cover it now. So it fits with, I just recently had surgery, and I've read a number of reports and articles that talk about what anesthesia does to your brain when it's numbing it, and some of the problems that you have when you go through anesthesia at any age, and especially women who are pregnant and give birth, the impacts that has on their memories. And so there's a whole diversity of thinking that we have about memories and cognitive impairment, and when should we take it serious. So here's an article that comes out of Mind, Mood, and Memory. Is it time to take a memory test? When changes in memory become noticeable or interfere with daily living, it's time to look at your cognitive assessments. But it talks in here about, as we get older, we will all experience some type of memory loss. And my always argument with that is we may experience some type of memory loss, but the question I always raise is, but have you learned anything about how your memory works or how you can exercise it? Like we talk about exercising our muscles, but what do we do to exercise our mental capacities and our mental functions? And what do we do in terms of seeing things that we can do to take control over our cognitive fitness? So to that point, we talk about understanding the impacts of memory loss. So my thinking as I was reading this article is how often people worry about their memories because they forgot where they put their keys or where they put their glasses, or maybe even in a parking lot where you might have put your car. And what does that all mean? So the article goes on and talks about people, as we get older, we may have some occasional lapses, which are just part of the normal aging process. If you walk into a room and you forget where you entered, not where you entered, but you forget why you entered, has that ever happened to you? You go into a room and you're going, okay, and it happens to me, so I don't get crazy about it, but I'm going into a room and I say, gee, now why did I come here? Well, as I was walking from the bedroom into the hallway or into the washroom or out to the front door, gee, why am I going out to the front door? Was I going for the mail? Was I going because somebody rang the bell? Am I going to just check on a vehicle or a neighbor? Why am I going there? Well, as I'm walking from the bedroom, I'm probably walking 30, 40 feet, and my head is thinking about 6 other things at the same time. So I'm trying to multi-think as I go through it, and I go to the doorway and I say, now why did I come here? Now, I don't go crazy and say to myself, my goodness, I've lost my memory or I've got cognitive impairment. I go to, gee, as I left the bedroom and I walked down the hallway, where's the hallway? Did I get the hallway there? There it is. As I go down there and I go through and I go down to the hallway, I've got some distance to go to. Okay, hallway. I'll get it right. Hallway. So now what am I doing? I'm thinking about 20 other things. And so therefore, it's not that I've lost my memory as to, gee, why was I going down the hallway? But I've got other things that are going on. Another one is that where you can't remember where you left your keys. And how many people go running around, and more for eyeglasses, my goodness. Keys I've learned, and it's easy to anchor your keys. Meaning, memory works by how we anchor something that we want to remember to something we already know. So, for example, if you put your keys in the same drawer, you put them on the same hook, or you put them in the same place every day, you'll certainly go back to the anchor. Oh, I know where my keys are. They're always on the hook as I come in from the garage or as I come in from the front door. There's a table. I always put them right there. But glasses are a little bit different. I find glasses, we put them in a whole lot of different places. We put them down in a moment that we get a phone call. We don't need our glasses to read, so we put them down on the counter. Well, you get off the phone call, you put the phone back on its place, or you put your cell phone back where it is. That's another one we have problems finding. But you find that, okay, wait a minute, I can't find my glasses. They're not on the dresser, they're not on the table in the kitchen. Well, what was I doing last? Now, again, my point is, it doesn't mean that you've got cognitive impairments, okay? Is it time to take a memory test? No, these are normal things that I come back to and define as you're not in focus. If you're not in focus and you're not in a conscious state to, when you put your glasses down on the I put them on the computer. I know where the computer is. If you're not in that conscious state of thinking at the time you do it, and you don't lock it in, then the likelihood of you thinking about, oh, I put them on the computer and going right back to there after you answer the doorbell is not likely to be strong. If you didn't think to say, I'm putting it down here, I'm making a quick mental note, and now I'm going to answer the door, I'm going to check to the mail, or I'm going out to talk to the gardener. How about our cell phones? Do we keep our cell phones in the same spot? We talk to somebody when we're sitting down watching TV, take our cell phone call, put them down next to an end table in the living room. Do we get up and go get something in the fridge, put them on the kitchen counter, put the cell phone down, leave it there? Were we in another room? Were we in the office or the den in the house? We left it on a table or in our office desk. Got interrupted by something at the door, and we left it there. So these are three things that I can easily think about. While there are instances of possible focus and not utilizing our memory to anchor and hook, to take a moment and thought, because we've been distracted, and enough of research has done, multitasking helps us to forget multiple things or do multiple things poorly. We don't want to overdiagnose ourselves and say, oh my goodness, you know what? I'm having a memory problem. No, you may have a focus problem. You may not realize how to anchor and put things into a proper place. And so we don't think of this as normal parts of the memory, lack thereof process. We don't stop and think about, my goodness, I understand why I don't remember where I put my phone. I don't remember where I left my keys. God, I've been so busy, I don't remember. I wasn't reading. I didn't need them for going to the door, so I left them on a table. We beat ourselves up, and we call them, as you get older, we call them senior moments, and now I hear younger people calling them senior moments, and I'm like, I want to get rid of that term and call them focus moments, times of focus. Now, as it's time to say, I don't want to dismiss the fact that there are times where people are having serious issues with memory, and therefore they need to deal with it and not ignore it. And so what I'm finding more frustrating, though, is I'm not sure that the medical doctors that we go to very often are knowledgeable enough about memories and how our memories work to be able to help people to remember things or help people to diagnose whether or not this is a serious issue. So if we have these occasional lapses and we can come back and think of things versus where even when I go back and find my glasses, I can't go backwards and think, oh, now I understand why I put them there. It may be time for you to seek out medical help and medical care. But we'll talk more about that in my next Live with Tony back on this coming Friday. With that, we're midway through the week. And think about the next time you misplace your glasses, your keys, or your phone. Was it because I didn't stop to take the time to think about where I was putting them? Was I interrupted by a phone call or by someone else talking to me, or my thought process rambling on something that was stressing or concerning me? And just back up and give yourself a few minutes and think about it. And obviously, I've got my brain training workshop on. I'm a big proponent of, obviously, there are skills that we can all learn. You can go to our website, USA Memory Championship, and go to the training session. And there are things we can all learn to make improvements to our own memories. And that's what the work we do with the USA Memory Championship and the work we do with memory training workshops can make a difference in people's lives where they thought there was no hope. And I always say, there's hope for all of us. There was hope for me, then there's hope for everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you on Friday.